I feel delighted to invite Mr. Omkára Veres. Originally is a pilot by profession and airline captain. In 1995, he has done his yoga teacher diploma from Sivánanda Yoga Vedanta Dhanvantri Ashram, India. From 1996 to 2020, he is working as a founding director of Sivánanda Yoga Center and Ashram in Hungary. He also visited Sivánanda Ashram Rishikesh. In 2007, he became founding president of Hungarian Yoga Teachers Association, and in 2020, he became honorary president of Hungarian Yoga Teachers Association.
Namaste. Thank you for being here. My name is Omkára, as you heard it, and today I wish to talk about holistic well-being through yoga. Not an easy question, because we are different, we need different ways, we are on different levels, and today, when I decided what to talk about, maybe it sounds a little bit egoistic, but my 70 years may be a lesson for many others, because during these 70 years, I made maybe some good things, but also many mistakes. I wish to talk a little bit about this topic. I was very young when I lost my father, later my mother, and I felt that nobody can help me. I am alone, and since that time, I'm still alone. I have friends, I have family, I have children, I have grandchildren, and that since when I was 12 years old, I remained alone, and I am still alone, and this is the greatest present in my life. As I told you, I was also young, and I had dreams. I wanted to be a pilot, and I felt that I can help only on myself, because there is nobody outside who can help me. I was 14 years old when I became a glider pilot, and I was 15 when I flew alone in the air without instructor the first time. Then later on, I became flight instructor on a college to train the future pilots, became member of the Hungarian acrobatic pilot team. We made fantastic figures, vertically up and down. And then came a new dream to be an airline pilot. Then, after a few years, I became a first officer at an airline. Then when I was an airline pilot, I was very happy. In a few years, Europe, Africa, and many, many cities, airports under my legs. I became very proud. I wanted to be a captain, because the captain is the person who is the boss in the air. He's the boss of the crew. He is boss of the cabin crew, the stewardesses. So it was the new challenge. Then the career went go and go. I became first an instructor pilot on passenger plane, then later a test pilot, and then something happened. I became sick. I lost my health. I was lying in a hospital and prepared for a surgical operation. Unfortunately, the surgical operation was unsuccessful. I was at the top of my career. I had family, everything what someone needs, car, and so on. Then I felt again very, very alone when the doctors told they cannot help me anymore. So I went to a friend who was an atomic physicist, and he told me, as I see your way of life, you don't have more than 6 months in this life. I got very sorrowful, and then came the yoga in my life. I started yoga with great inspiration, but the success was very slow. Sometimes I felt very proudly I overcome my illness, but the blood again started to run out of my body. Then again and again, practice and practice. And after many years, I got back my health. I got back what I couldn't buy for my money. I decided to pay as much as I can for the doctors, whiskeys, Napoleon cognacs, and everything which was worse for my health. My life was full of mistakes. I was great meat eater. I didn't sleep too much, sometimes 2-3 hours. I flew a lot. I was together with my friends, drinking whiskey, cognac, and all the other enjoyable things. So my greatest present in this life is yoga. I appreciate India. I appreciate the wise men who took yoga to the Western world. Without it, this speech cannot be held today. I'm not so proud of me. Very simply, I wanted to show you that everyone has a choice in his life to choose the way back to life, or maybe you lose your life. After practicing many, many years, I continued flying, and I have still worldly dreams to become a long-range airline captain, and that was another good solution, because for many, many years I learned yoga from books. And when I started these long-range flights, one day, anyway, I was crossing the Atlantic Ocean 726 times. Maybe it's enough. And one day when I arrived New York, I visited the Sivánanda Yoga Center. I visited many yoga centers, and all the yoga centers was good teachers. But at the Sivánanda Yoga Center, I felt I arrived home. It happened at 1993, many years ago. After practicing in the yoga center a few years, the center director asked me to become a yoga teacher. I told him with great ego, it's impossible to be a yoga teacher. I have no time for that and such things. My family doesn't allow to go to India for yoga teacher training course. And he told me that these obstacles are only in one place, in your mind. And surprisingly, after a few months, I was sitting on the Boeing 747 of the Air India to yoga teachers training course. This teachers training course was another big change in my life. During the course, I learned more than the previous 6 years because we practiced every day. The whole day was about yoga. If we see that what is our today's topic, holistic well-being through yoga, we are, as I told, we are not the same level, all of us. We are on different levels, and as yoga teachers, we need to help people on their own level. That's the reason that there are yoga teachers, and to learn yoga from video, to learn yoga from books, it's a very slow process, and maybe you make many mistakes. So this was the second great present, to become a yoga teacher, and in the same time I continued flights, and I learned how to heal myself. I learned how to relax, how to have deep relaxation through 3 layers of relaxation practice. I learned the asanas. I was not young at that age, over 40, but I started from the beginning. And asanas give me a very flexible body. And in the beginning, I didn't want to meditate because I told that I'm not a religious-minded person. I am an engineer. I don't need such things. I don't want to sing. Again, many months, many years happened, and I understood the meaning of meditation and the meaning of singing. All of them very good means to have a healthy, physically and mentally healthy body and mind. I started also to practice pranayama. Pranayama was also a great tool to increase my energy level. And one day I understood that it is time to understand, why am I here on this earth? Why do I have so many bad qualities and some good qualities? And I understood that I am playing my own play through the karma. And I have always choices what to do and what not to do. This practice gave me the choice to be happy and with controlled mind when I had an adversity during the flight. We made emergency landings on a New York flight, and you need a very clear-cut mind. There are many passengers behind you. You have not too much time to decide how to land, but yoga helped me to land successfully, to make not mistakes in the adverse situation. So my message to anyone is not my message. It is the message of my teachers, all teachers who has given yoga to Hungary, to the Western world. And it is very important to understand that if we are learning for 5-7 years in a university, maybe the life of university a little bit longer, but it's a wonderful play if you play consciously, if you understand that the main reason you are here to find your way back, to find your way back to home, to find the answers. Why are you here? If I'm teaching my students, or if I'm teaching to managers, the first thing I wanted to catch their present understanding. And I don't tell them, do enlightenments. What I do, try to understand their problems, and first help him how to lead a happy, healthy way, as I got from my teachers. Hari Om.
Thank you very much, Omkara ji. And the way you mentioned, all obstacles are there in the mind itself. It reminds me of somebody saying that, well, my life appears to me as a big obstacle race, in which me being the biggest obstacle. So you shared your whole life journey. It inspires all of us that how finally into the self you get the final peace, and how step by step you can proceed towards self. Thank you very much, Omkara ji, for blessing us in today's program. Thank you.
On behalf of
Namaste.
United Consciousness, I thank Mr. Omkára Veres for coming on to the platform of United Consciousness.